Tonight, police are investigating a deadly crash involving two cars packed with teens and young adults. Why officers believe alcohol may have played a role.
Tragic story. A young woman is dead and a drunk driver is behind bars.
Well, he was just 19 years old when he was struck and killed by an alleged drunk driver.
Alcohol, they say, is a factor in this crash.
About 7 million Americans between the ages of 12 and 20 report current alcohol consumption. The CDC has identified that on average 30 people die every day in America due to alcohol-related car accidents. 8 of those are minors. Underage drinking and driving is a problem that affects everyone in modern-day society.
In Montana alone, we have seen over 80 deaths with drinking and driving, with 20 of those being minors. Montana is #1 in the nation for drunk driving fatalities.
Montana, on a per capita basis, leads the nation in drunk driving deaths. So this is something we've got to combat. And we need to be providing support for teens to keep them from turning to some of these really dangerous activities.
In 2006, Congress enacted the Sober Truth on Preventing Underage Drinking Act, the STOP Act, because they saw a big enough problem in our society. So what exactly does this act entail, and what are they doing to help the community better understand this problem?
One of the primary components of the Act is the STOP Act grant program. This program provides community coalitions with the funds to prevent and reduce alcohol use among youth and young adults.
Some of the ways the STOP Act helps are by strengthening and enforcing community guidelines and restrictions on sales and service of alcohol, along with conducting community-wide education campaigns. But what can we do to improve this?
I think the bottom line is it needs to be funded. It's based on education. Anytime you can do education and be able to move that ball forward to educate kids on the impacts of drinking could have on their lives is really important, but you can't do that without money. So making sure it's funded is really important.
Since the STOP Act became law in 2006, there has been increased community efforts to address underage drinking as a public health crisis, and we have seen localized improvement in teen drinking statistics. While these positive results are encouraging, the fact remains alcohol still is the primary drug of choice of our youth.
Choices you can make, and we all make bad choices, but these are choices that can be irreversible. And we have a problem with that in Montana. It sometimes can be culturally accepted that it's okay to drink and drive. And we need to continue to combat that.
You see throughout the years the effects that it's had on the family, the friends that knew better and feel guilty because they should have given him a ride. Personally, I have dealt with so many calls that have to deal with underage drinking, and it's never ended in something that is good.
You look at the impacts alcohol has on families and on jobs and work production. It's a big deal, so we need to make sure that the communities don't contribute to underage drinking.
We need to stop this stereotype in our community and bring in a new normal.
10 years after the passage of the STOP Act, it is clear that its comprehensive approach is making a difference. According to the 2015 Monitoring the Future survey, lifetime alcohol use by 8th, 10th, and 12th graders is the lowest in decades. However, despite the progress we have made in the last decade, underage alcohol consumption in the United States remains a widespread and persistent public health and safety problem.
But it's even more dangerous when somebody underage is involved. It's dangerous to the driver. It puts everybody on the road at risk. And that's something that I don't think people who drive after being served too much alcohol and they're drunk realize that it's not just their life that's at risk. It's your neighbors and others on the road who are also put at risk. I mean, some of the saddest stories we hear are horrible deaths and injuries caused by drunk drivers.
Mr. Speaker, continuing the investment of the STOP Act is a cost-effective strategy to reduce the $53 billion annual cost of underage drinking to our nation. Most importantly, it will reduce the suffering, the violence, and death that far too often are caused by underage drinking.
I think a lot of people choose to drink and drive thinking that they're invincible and think that they're lucky if they don't get caught and they do it again, and then they end up getting caught or killing somebody else or killing themselves, and then the effects that has on somebody's family long term doesn't stop.
You know, in New York, like in every other state, you read in the newspapers of young people whose lives have been wiped out by drunk driving. You see them prom season, Christmas time. Look at these pictures. Look at those pictures. That is the most amazing testament to why we have to continue to do more. It's unbelievable. And you read them and you feel for the families every day.
Our hopes are that with the new year, both our community and our country will reach record low numbers of underage drunk driving to bring in a new normal. Dude.